High School. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We're excited to have you. So one of the things that I tell people as often as I can is that I feel like I have the best job in Williamson County. This is my 6th year at Fairview High School, and I absolutely love it. I've worked at big schools and small schools and private schools and public schools, and of all the schools I've been at, this place feeds me more than any place I've ever been. And so we're very hopeful that if this is your first student coming through Fairview High School, that they feel the exact same way. If it's not your first student, we hope you and they had a fabulous time that time around, and we're happy to welcome you back. I'm going to share with you a few things that I love about this building and this community, and then we're going to have our PTO president have a conversation with you guys, and then Mr. Butler is going to split us up and explain what we're going to do tonight, and then we're going to head to the other side of the building. One thing to know is that this is an active campus tonight. We have a basketball game that we were supposed to have tomorrow that's now happening tonight so we'll get you guys where you need to go, but you may have to go through some spots that we have basketball fans and hundreds of cheering fans. So things that I love about Fairview High School is, first of all, this community. I think that we have the magic that we have the opportunity to capture by having the only true feeder pattern left in Williamson County is really, really special. What that means, as you guys know, is 2 elementary schools feed into your current middle school, and then they all come here. And we find that support everywhere, and we feel that support everywhere, and that to me, it literally doesn't happen anywhere else in Williamson County, and I think as long as we are maximizing that, we are doing really, really good work. We also have an incredible faculty and staff that work here. Everybody that works in this building believes that relationships are the root of what we do. Obviously, we have high academic standards. We have things that we know students are here to accomplish in terms of high school credits. You guys can come right on in if you want to come in and, sorry, find a spot. I just didn't want you to stand in the Sorry. I realized right when I did that, everybody's going to turn around and be like, oh, sorry. So the root of everything we do, we work to make that be relationships. And that can happen in a building our size. We have about 740 students. And that allows us to get to know students. Another thing that it allows us to do is have smaller class sizes than a lot of our sister schools in Williamson County and even in other neighboring counties. So we're thankful for the opportunity to do that. That isn't every class. We have classes that have 30 students in them, but we work to, even in those classes, often there are more than one adult to be able to build those relationships, and that feels really special to me. The other piece that I think we pride ourselves on a little bit more every day is that we value the idea of our students having access and exposure to things as much as we do them having strong GPAs and a strong high school transcript. And what I mean by that is that we want students to take classes because they're interested in taking those classes or because they want to challenge themselves, and we want them to be engaged in school. There are some very clear high school requirements that you have to get. They're very different than anybody in the room that is my age. High school has changed dramatically since I was in high school. So there are some very clear paths that students are expected to take, but we try and incorporate courses that give students any type of opportunity that they want. If they're an artistic student, if they're a student that's excited about the humanities or history, we try and do pieces that they will find a spot that they find themselves in high school. Another piece of that is that outside of the classroom, we want students to be involved in things outside of the classroom. We know, research tells us, and many of us just know because we see it in school, that students who are very involved are better at school. And so I try and say yes as often as I can. Students come all the time and they're like, hey, the most recent one, we just added a chess club. A student came and was fired up and wanted to have a chess club, had already found a sponsor for the chess club, had several students already on his side. He thought he was going to have a petition to do it, so he had to line students up and was fired up. And those students have a spot in our building. The same thing is true. Mr. Myers, who you'll meet tonight, does the Ultimate Frisbee Club. Those guys, I don't know that there are any girls this year, that's why I say guys, but yeah, we need some. So if you're into Ultimate Frisbee, we've got a club for you. But Those are two very different examples of students who said, we want to be able to do this. And my answer is find an adult who's willing to do it, and they always do. And then they're able to have that club. So students being involved and engaged in things outside of the classroom is also very important to us. The last thing that I'll share with you guys in this space is another piece that's incredibly important to us is that we know that students who have active parents in their lives do better in high school. A lot of things happen in high school where there are times that parents think, okay, I'm going to let my kid figure this out on their own, or I'm going to back away a little bit. And all of those things make sense at times, but what never makes sense is for a parent to say, they're in high school, they're almost grown, I'm going to let them figure this out on their own completely. And so what I say every time I have the opportunity is that we talk tons in high school about students not dropping out, and this will be the first time, but probably not the last time you hear me say, we need you to not drop out either. We need you to be fully engaged in all 4 years. We want you to communicate with us. We pride ourselves on you guys being able to come in this building and us be welcoming as administrators, as educators, and we need that. We need that from you. Your children need that from you, and so I want to say that. We have an active parent-teacher organization. We've just changed our title from Parent Association to PTO, so I'm working on getting that back. And we've had a great year, many parents breathing life into that. And our president is here to have a conversation with you guys. Chandler, thanks for coming up.
Good evening. This is what I love. So it's a really rainy, wet night, and these parents are committed, and that is awesome. And I hope to see you on the PTO. So what Dr. Oyer was just talking about, I just want to echo that. You know, I think one of the things that we love most, we have 6 children, and our youngest, number 6, is about to start high school, which is a little hard for me to handle tonight. But the parent involvement here at the school is really amazing, and the faculty are very approachable and reachable, and we have really had a great experience here. One of the things that we do in the PTO is we do fundraising for things in the classroom. Our whole mission statement is around really providing extra tools and extra things in the classroom for teachers. This year we granted over $3,000 worth of little things that have really augmented the experience inside of the classroom. So things like new slides for the science department, or for the name of it, I can't remember, what's the freshman experience, where they do the notes? Avid. So we did easels for the Avid classrooms. So all kinds of little things. And the PTO group meets once a month, and we get together and we really pool our resources and talk about things that we know are going to be great fundraisers, or things that we know are going to be a good draw for the community. So tonight, over in the gym, in the cafeteria, where you all are going to go eventually, there is someone there who is in a red and black check shirt who looks a little bit like me, one of my daughters, and she has the PTO forms, because I'm going to be walking around with my daughter to her things. And there's also these little Publix Partners little tickets. These things are passive fundraising, so that every time you go to Publix, and you check out, if you scan this, it gives us hundreds of dollars every 3 months. This is so easy. It's completely painless. And so we really hope you'll grab one of these tags tonight and use them every time you go to Publix. In the PTO forms, there's no cost to join. We'll just get some information from you and contact you when we're going to be meeting, in case you can come and help us do things that are going to make Fairview High School even better. So we look forward to seeing you on the team. Thanks.
While we've got you clapping, we have something we want to share with you. Does anybody notice these gigantic numbers? Don't give it away if there are people in the room who already know, but does anybody who doesn't know for sure want to take a guess about what those numbers are? Go ahead, you want to guess? I saw a slight hand go up and I had to jump on it. Do you want to guess?
It should be 2022.
Do you think it's your graduation year and we just messed up? Because you're right, it should be 2022, but that's a really small little, pretend it's like a dot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was great though. Thank you for volunteering. Do you have a guess, buddy?
amount of miles you run?
Well, so a marathon is 26.2, but I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. So I'm going to remember that. That was a great guess. Anybody else? Oh, one more. Sorry. Yes. It is the ACT score. Guess what happened? Today, we just announced that this is the highest ACT score that this high school has ever had. Yep. Highest average. I'm sorry. The highest average ACT. Yes. We have had higher scores. Yes. Thank you. This is the highest ACT composite score that we've had for a cohort, a class. So the class of 2017, this was their final average ACT. Average ACT score for that class. That's not right either. The composite. You guys understand what I'm saying, I think. So the thing that's so exciting about that is two things. It's the highest that our school has ever had. The other exciting thing is that we did not subject to you to the way that we told our faculty this morning. So we, the administration, dressed in tutus because 2-2. You get it? Yeah. And then we sang to Taylor Swift's 22. And so you can thank the two great assistant principals who work here because I was like, we should do that tonight. That would be a great idea. And then I thought, oh, this may be the first time these people are meeting us. And they just didn't respond that that was a good idea. And so we decided to just put the balloons on the stage and celebrate that. But we're incredibly proud of the work that has gone into that. And we're super excited knowing that we've got a lot of trajectory opportunity. But we're feeling really good about that. And going back to the young man in the back, some people, when we found out, were saying it's good job on the 22. And I am quick to be like 22.1 because as in a marathon, if you just ran 26 miles, you have not made it. In fact, you have quit when it was like, time to really get going. And so the 22.1 matters. We're really proud of the .12. So when you're talking about it, feel free to make sure you keep that .1. So Chris Butler is here. Ellen Brown is in the back. She is an assistant principal here and works with the 11th and 12th graders. Mr. Butler works with the 9th and 10th graders. And what that means is not that he's the only person that 9th grade parents can talk to. You'll talk to all three of us, but it's the person that's designated to kind of help walk students through the path of their freshman year. So Mr. Butler's going to teach us what we need to do tonight, and we'll get going.
All right. Glad to see everybody out. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. Talking to parents, you can see kind of the shocked look on your face that we're already talking about high school and it's January. Well, August will get here before you know it. So we have some awesome rotations tonight that we're going to take you around. With the weather and now with the basketball game, we have to be a little bit flexible. But if you look at your schedule, hopefully everyone got one tonight. If you look in the top corner, you're going to see a number. And that's how we're going to split you up for rotation. And so what we're going to do is actually go to another part of our building to handle these rotations. I cannot say enough, get involved. Find something tonight that is encouraging to you, something you find interest in, and get involved. If you don't see anything that interests you, come let me know and say, hey, I didn't see anything, but I would love to be interested in this. And like Dr. Orr said, we will give you that opportunity if it's student-led.
As you walk through the building, because you're having the opportunity to start in our brand new Performing Arts Center, you're also going to have the opportunity to walk through the newly remodeled part of this building, and then you will find yourself in the part of the building that has not been remodeled. When your students arrive next year, it will have been remodeled, but you have a good sense of how beautiful the remodeled side looks, and then you will realize how wonderful it is that we have people that support us and are offering us the remodeling on the other side of the building. So just notice that distinction and know that it will all be fantastic and beautiful when your students arrive.
Where you're saying we're actually closer to about 740. We kind of go in and out around the 720, 730, 740 mark. We offer standard honors, advanced placement, certification classes, and dual enrollment classes. So certification classes, some of our CTE classes, you can actually earn, for example, our health science program, they can earn their EMT certificate by the time they graduate from high school, depending on their age, and actually go straight into working in emergency services. So we met with your students on Wednesday, yesterday, and we gave them some really important information. They got to see a video about the classes, some opportunities that they had. We talked about some academic things that they needed to know. Hopefully they came home last night like really fired up and talking to you guys about that. But if not, then this is a kind of encouragement to say, hey, have a conversation with them about what's coming. They will be getting a lot more information, and you guys will too. What will happen is in the next week or so, middle school teachers will finish up making some recommendations on whether your students should have standard, honors, or AP courses for next year at the high school level. And we will get those recommendations, and then starting on January 22nd, we will sit down with your student and hopefully you as well, and we will create their schedule request for next year along with a couple of alternates. Those are run from January 22nd to the 31st. We allow 30 minutes for those, which is plenty of time to answer questions, see what's going on, and to really kind of help you feel comfortable with the process. You can find a sign-up genius for that on the middle school website. So if you go to their website, scrolling through on their homepage is a sign-up genius link. You can go in and pick a time on any of those days that work for you. Because we know you have to work and we understand that, but if there's any way at all that you can be there with your student, this is the one that you need to be at. It's a big transition for you and for them, so helping them make those decisions and feel comfortable with all of that is important. Please make sure that you also bring 2 proofs of residency with you, things like a mortgage statement, a water bill, gas bill, electric, those kind of things, and then we also will get a copy of your driver's license on that day.
If students will be recommended, like she mentioned, for either standard, honors, or AP classes by their 8th grade teachers, which we want you to pay close attention to what they recommend, because they're with your student day in, day out. They know their work ethic and how they function in the classroom with that particular subject. But if you disagree with that in some way, parents' wishes will be met. So, I mean, if you want to fill out an override form and say, I don't want honors or I do want honors, we'll talk about that at the meeting and we can totally change whatever the classes need to be. Freshmen do not really have study halls anymore. They have what's called AVID, and it's a program where we try to help them figure out how to take notes, how to organize their stuff, someone kind of helping them through that process, because we found one year that the freshmen, that's where they were falling through the cracks, was not really that they didn't understand the material, but that they just weren't able to manage the workload and get through the high school process effectively. So we kind of put that in place. So we will be signing them up for AVID, unless there is just some kind of crazy scheduling thing, they'll have to take those. Okay, so we're going to bring some of those override forms to your meeting, and if you decide later, we can always give you more from the counseling center, or you can come out in the summer, but they must have a parent's signature on them to override the courses once we've made out the course request for them.
One of the options is to override and maybe take an honors or an AP class that you have not been recommended for. And what I will say is that your request will be honored, but it will be honored for a full year. So, and what I would suggest to you is if you are really wanting your student in an honors or an AP class, maybe going back to that recommending teacher and talk through why that recommendation wasn't made, or if there was an error, or the supports that you plan on providing at home through the 9th grade year to make that work, things like that. So starting at the starting place is a good idea, rather than just jumping in because you're jumping in for a year.
What all is your student involved with? Are they going to try to play 3 sports? Do they need to work after school? What is their life after school? Because really the homework level increases with each of those steps. And so try to find a balance, especially in that year that everything is transitioning, that freshman year. So if you maybe have them in 1 or 2, I wouldn't say sign up a child for all honors unless they are just, that's their thing and they don't do anything else. But just be mindful of the workload and managing that. Okay, some of the alternate classes, at the bottom of your form, we'll talk you through this as well, but there will be 3 alternate classes. There's a possibility that in the master schedule, the scheduling won't work out and something they wanted to take their freshman year might not fit. And then we'll go down to those alternate classes and fill something in that they want as a backup. And then usually it's something that they need to graduate anyway. But we just wanted to make you aware that on those alternate courses, that's why they're there. And we can help you pick out some things that will be something that they need if that happens. The course request, once we sit down and we make our course request, you have until June 14th to change your mind. So we're doing this in January, you have until June. But I will say every year someone forgets and something pops up and then they're on vacation the week of and they're frantically emailing us from Florida or wherever they are. So I would say we're going to give you a copy of what we sign up for. Put it on your refrigerator. If there's one that's like being, discussed back and forth throughout the year, just in your mind, take care of it before school's out. Just decide before school's out, because once you're out, you're just not thinking about taking care of those things. You're on vacation, you're doing whatever, and so then ultimately that deadline gets missed, and we have to build our master schedule. So it's not just to be mean and be like, no, you've got to stay in your classes you signed up for. It's because we have to build a master schedule, and we have to figure out what classes we're going to make and how many teachers we're going to have here. And so once that's said, it's hard to be moving people around and for that to still be accurate. Okay. So when she said your wish will be honored, it will be honored for a full year, but that's why, because we really can't move you around after that.
Elective focus, students have to take 3 years of an elective focus, and so we have a lot of options. You can have an AP focus, a humanities focus, which I won't get into because it's not complicated, but
it's kind of like fine arts, but throw in some language or some psychology, AP, or some of that stuff, and then you've got humanities focus.
It's not one that we typically is chosen, but it's a possibility. Fine arts, so if you are in love with theater or art and you want to do those things 4 years, you can do any of the fine arts. JROTC, health science, has 2 different tracks. Carpentry, agriculture, mechatronics, broadcasting, and then our new TAP program, teaching as a profession. Graduation requirements, you need 22 credits to graduate in Williamson County, and if you just kind of do the math on that over the course of 4 years, and there's 6 periods in a study hall, you've got like 2 electives that are not locked and loaded right here on this chart. So 4 Englishes, 4 maths, 3 science, 3 social studies, 1 lifetime wellness, 0.5 for PE and both personal finance, and then 2 years of foreign language, 1 year of fine art, 3 for an elective focus, for a total of 22.